Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just checking that the mic was on because that just came off. Yes, Dave Wiseman, Northern Gas and Power, Energy Management Systems. It's one of the divisions of Northern Gas and Power. I was really pleased, actually, when Troy asked me some time ago to speak at the conference, because I've known Troy and Ben, some of this, for quite some time, but it's really going to give me the opportunity to say why we're dealing with them and what support they're going to be giving through to Northern Gas and Power and actually allowing us to attain our future objectives. All right, obviously you won't, let's just see which button this is for this one. All right, for those of you who don't know Northern Gas and Power and who we are, we started off a few years ago as a small, but very ethical and efficient energy broker. Our CEO, for those of you that know him, he's absolutely driven. He doesn't know the meaning of not to succeed. He knows where he wants to go and he's determined always to get there, but in a very ethical manner as well. So we wanted to be the largest one. We are actually on our way to achieving this, and we've now got offices, our head office is over in Gateshead. We've got 2 offices there. We've just opened an office in Leeds. We've got one over in Plano in Texas, over in the States. Another office over in Chennai in India, and we just opened one up in Malta. And we've got 2 small offices over in Dublin and France. The office that we've got over in Chennai is our software development area. But, all right, why are we different? Now, a lot of the things we put upon here are things that lots of people are trying to aspire to. We want to be, but we will actually be the best in class in our energy market. Troy mentioned earlier on about being one of the fat cats. Well, we're not quite there yet, but we're trying to get in that way. I could do with losing a bit more weight, though. With our customers, we always offer competitive rates. So that's one of the driving forces. We do spend a lot of time in offering excellent customer service, out to our customers. And we've got total visibility of the usage, the cost, the control, and the equipment. And we like to give them unparalleled support. But that wasn't enough. We wanted to go another stage, another bit further to try and differentiate ourselves. So it's a couple of years ago, we actually decided that we would start looking at products to complement the services that we already offer. And part of that product offering was to put us in line with our agenda, our 2020 strategy, which is something we announced at our conference in 2016. And what that was, it was an action plan, so we wanted to put sustainable development into energy, the idea being that we could put forward sustainable energy for people in the future. Now, again, to do that, we needed the right product to actually take us forward with that. And one of the things that we did then was, luckily, I'd had this conversation with Troy quite some time ago, was had a look at the Best and the Eniscope product as to what it could do. And when we started to have a look at that marketplace, we really used that as a benchmark because we spent a lot of time looking at lots of other products in the market and they never quite fitted up to it. You had products with very good facilities with it and features. You had companies with some drive, but the one thing that always seemed to be missing with all of them, and that was what a company is, and that's the people. Because after all, if you deal with a company, you're just looking at a product, that's not really going to take you anywhere. It's the people that actually matter, and it's the ones that want to embark on that journey with you. And that's something that's certainly found with the early meetings that we had with Ben and Troy and Ian. That's actually gone the other way, okay. So why did we actually choose Best? Well, after looking at all the different companies, we found with Best, they had a similar ethic and culture to work in. They also wanted to strive to be the best, which is a name that we're using quite often, just as we did. They also had a very, very strong management team under the guidance of Troy, which was nice to work with. They knew where they were going. They knew how they wanted to get there. They would work with the teams, and all the teams pulled together. They were very experienced in the design and manufacturing and approval process. And as I'll come on to later, that was very important to us because the product, we're not just launching in the UK, we want to actually launch it later on to our customers over in America and also into Europe and into other markets as well. They had a good understanding of the marketplace. So they were looking at what does the product need to do, what is the market demanding, and we were trying to ally that towards what we were doing as a company as well. And technical staff, I must say, we're really, really pleased in the way that we've been able to work with the technical staff from Best in conjunction with our own staff as well, as we've gone through some development areas. And that was critical to what we were looking for, and that was the willingness to help NGP EMS develop our own unique EMS system. And that was working closely with Eniscope. What we didn't want to do as a company, and that was just to simply buy a product from another supplier and white label it and sell it on. We wanted to be unique. We wanted to have somebody that we could work with. And again, that comes back down to Best. We couldn't get that from any other company that we spoke to. And we spent a lot of time having these discussions. In fact, Troy will back up that we had many, many meetings over many months. And Ian even came up to do some of the presentation to back up all the development that Best had gone into. Because at one time, our CEO, he wanted to design, manufacture and produce his own product. He was so keen in actually having that IPO. And we had many discussions, and then I said, no, you don't want to do that. Why waste the knowledge and the time that a company like Best has gone into for over 10 years to develop a product to the stage it is today? Why waste all that time and that knowledge? And it was agreed at our board that the Best product, the Eniscope, was by far the best that we looked at in what it could do. So we really, really, nailed our flag to the mast, as we say, to go along with the Best product. So, okay, so what was the result of all this time and effort? Well, I did have a smile on my face earlier on when I saw the new product, because with all the time and effort that we spent with designing and working with Andy, we actually came up jointly with our Clearview product. It does look remarkably similar. Which was redesigned. And I'll be honest with you, most of the designs within the equipment there and the presentation came from Andy and the team at Best. But we wanted it to be unique. We wanted to differentiate it. But we've gone a little bit further as well, because we've got our own software development team. So with our unique EMS system, we've actually got our own bespoke package with that as well. We can now, I'm just going to go back one stage further. With Northern Gas and Power being a utility broker, we also developed our own CRM system, our customer management system. We've got integrated billing data on there. So not only do we collect, at the moment, half-hourly data from all our customers, but we can analyse that and we can break that down into all forms of usage, which I'll go into later on. But we wanted to integrate that into the Best unit. So now, with the development work, we will actually be able to give out real-time usage data by circuit. So that's real-time, visually displayed. Real-time cost, because we can link it into our billing platform. We're not just showing usage, we've got the tariff tables in there. So a customer can see how much he's using and how much it's costing him, but also how much he's saving. We do analytical reporting. Now, over in the UK, we have different charge bands. We have it in red, amber, green. But it means by having this data and seeing exactly where the usage is and the cost, we can even then talk to the customers and say, right, you're actually using quite a lot there at the highest possible tariff. Why don't you just look at shifting your work patterns? So instead of having people working at peak tariff, just by changing it an hour, you can save a considerable amount of money. And I know some of you are probably thinking, hang on, we've got a utility company here that makes margin from usage. We're telling them to reduce it. I'll come on to the benefits of that in a moment. We've also got an interactive dashboard, which I'll show you as well, displaying live bill data, analytics by day, night and week. And as Troy mentioned earlier on, something that's going to be becoming very, very important in the forthcoming period, and that's max demand. Our network is already under a tremendous amount of strain through usage. So the more that we can reduce that usage on the network, the better it is for all of us. So the displays, let's just have a look what we've got there. All right, customized displays, I've mentioned that. We've got many different displays, including consumption costs, data, carbon reduction. We can also show comparisons between sites, between departments. It could be countries, it could be other areas. Whatever data we're collecting, we can actually feed into the reports. Instant visibility of all this as well, including the emissions and performance league tables. So let me just show you a couple of the displays we've got. I mean, the first one now, that is our new dashboard. And it's divided into 4 areas. First of all, it can be passive, which you can just display. But otherwise, if we have a look at this area here, what that's showing here is hot chiller units, refrigeration, freezer room, is percentages of consumption. But that doesn't just have to be that. That could be all the divisions that people have within a building. It could be all the businesses they have within a country. It could be the actual countries. But simply on that screen, just by touching the screen, it takes you into a different level. So if it's a country, you hit on the country, it'll show you other businesses that you have over there. Click on it again, it'll take you down to the individual departments. Click on it again, it'll keep going down all the levels of detail. We then relate that, of course, to things that affect it, and that's performances against budget, performances against target, looking at what we did yesterday as opposed to today, but also influencing factors. For example, if you've got an increase in consumption, we've got an element of there because it could be down to adverse weather conditions. So adverse weather conditions, it's colder, so therefore your engineering costs, your energy usage costs are going to increase. So you're getting reasons behind it. We also then, for a competitive area, will put down comparisons again, and that can be against departments, it can be against other divisions, it can be other companies, so you've got a competitive area. And then we've got carbon usage, by month, so it's increases, it's reduction. And also we can display any other things that people may want to do. Simple temperature charts on there, or it could be commodities. But because it's customer programmable, we can look at what data they want to display and we can actually put it on their dashboard. And that can also be used as we talk to a car showroom at the moment, where they can put that in their car sales area. And you might think, well, why the hell would they want something like that? But if you think of some of the car dealerships, they're selling the same product to the same customers for the same price. So what makes them different? Well, if they can show that we're more efficient, we're more green, we can show how much energy we're reducing, it gives the buyer a feel-good factor. It's another little thing that they can add into it. So this is like the customer dashboard. But from that, if we then look at our own analytics, there's other things we can do now. Visibility down to 1-minute intervals, over 50 parameters that we can now manage. Multiple meters, lots of things which, of course, you're probably aware of with the Eniscope anyway. But what that does, it then takes us on to dynamic reporting. So it's real-time data. So the first one that we'd have on there, that's just showing the monthly consumption. But if they click onto it, it'll then take it down to daily consumption, click onto it again, and it'll go down to half-hourly billing. And then it'll go from that on to max demand at any time. But not only is that just a static, it's constantly changing. When you log on, it's showing per second data as to how the consumption is increasing or decreasing, what the cost impact of it is. With half-hourly data, you've got to wait till the following day, really, to have a look at the information coming through. We're actually linking this with our system through to the DC data that we get back from the supplier as well. So it means the customer's got something he can really compare. Am I being billed the correct amount? Am I actually managing my energy efficiently? And this is all coming through our reports. Now that then takes us on to the future. And this is where, again, we're not stepping down, we're going forward. We're taking the product one stage further, which is a big leap. We're also going to have a fully integrated control system. So not only will they be able to see what their consumption is, but then they'll be able to do something about it. So again, as I said before, when we looked at other products, there were other companies out there that were doing controls, but they weren't linking it to the same level that Best were doing with the monitoring, which, I repeat again, far exceeds anything else that we had a look at. So with that type of information, then building the controls function into it, the customer now will have complete control over his energy management. So we put into there that any appliances and equipment that we link onto it, they can manage it at different levels. You can have somebody who would have authority to change all the settings. And it can be by day, date, temperature, occupancy, whatever else it is. Or you can have other levels where they could just review it and monitor. But we want to have the ability, and we will be doing this, by the way, in the new year, and we're working very closely with Troy. In fact, Troy's going to be coming to a meeting with us very shortly on that. The ability to control electrical circuits, control any plant and equipment on there. We can alter things by temperature and occupancy. We've even got controls whereby we're using it with the gym, that we can set the temperature when there's nobody in the gym, so it's warm, but as more and more people come in, then we can reduce the energy consumption because of the amount of heat that's been generated by the people in there. So we're linking it up with occupancy controls. The same as you can have departments and divisions in businesses where people aren't operating it. So let's automatically reduce the temperature and save energy even more. We can operate and control gas boilers for heating, underfloor heating systems, which means that we can control flow valves as well, on the pumping system. Air conditioning units, air handling units, HVAC, warm air blowers, radiant tubes, which are used a lot within the engineering market. We've even got wirelessly operated thermostatic control valves on radiators, so that those can be controlled remotely. And again, all this can be done locally, on-site or remotely. So if you're talking to a multi-site operation where they've got a central controls department, they can, from their office, control how they want all the other buildings and businesses to be set up worldwide. We're looking at that at the moment with a building company that's got lots of different retail outlets, that they will prefix what the temperatures will be within those offices. And potentially it's going to save them a fortune. So that's where the way we're going in the future. But then we actually have a look, so I'm just going to go back on that. We actually go one stage further. I mentioned before that we want to be different. And when I mentioned some of the things that we do, you might think, yeah, everybody's trying to do that. Now we're going to go really one stage further, and that's everything I've spoken about now on the best product, our Clearview products as we call it, the controls. We're going to supply absolutely free of charge to our customers. That is no cost for the equipment, for the installation, for any of the hardware at all. It's free. Now, when we speak to customers, we're not saying we're going to give you this equipment free of charge. What we're saying is we will provide this as part of our utility contract, because we don't want to give the equipment, because if we give the equipment to them, they have ownership, they have responsibility. And what we want to do is to provide it as part of our service. Very good reason behind this, and that's we talked before about the energy market and the way that we're approaching it. Well, yes, we are going at a competitive rate. So we're going to you as a customer and say, yes, we will reduce your rates. We will make you as competitive as possible. But then we're also going to reduce your consumption. I think, well, that's a little bit alien, really. Why do you want to do that? The reason we want to do that is customer retention. Because imagine now, we have a customer, they can be on a 1, 2, 3 or 5 year contract. Now the energy market, you should probably aware, is very tight on margins. There's not a lot of margin to play with. So imagine we've got a customer now on a nice contract, we've supplied them with the energy monitoring, we're reducing their usage by 20, 25%. And when it comes to contract renewal, and that chap comes to us and said, thanks very much, we've had great service off you for a number of years now, but another company's come up and they're like, 0.5% lower, on the rates. So we say, fine, yes, you've got the ability, you're perfectly at liberty to go to whoever you like. We've got no problem, but we can't really alter our rates that much. There's a lot of services we do. But tell you what, while you're on the phone, more than happy for you to go elsewhere, but while you're on the phone, when's it convenient for us to come and collect our energy management system we've installed that's been reducing your consumption by 20%? It's a little bit of a hold on them. Now, even though that equipment might have only cost anywhere between £3,000 or £30,000 to put in, depending on the size of the customer, and you've all done payback calculations, that a customer could say, okay, well, I can buy that myself and actually I'll get a payback in 6, 9, 12 months. But you all know how difficult it is for that person to go to the board, to get budget approval, to get that equipment put in. They've already spent it this year. They've probably already allocated most of the budget for next year. So it's much easier for them to say, okay, never mind, leave the equipment in and carry on managing and monitoring it. So yeah, we will put the equipment in free to these customers to get customer retention. We've also got another nice little quirk that comes about from it. And that's, just imagine now from our sales side that we're talking to new customers who say to us, fine, yeah, like it, but we're actually in a 3-year contract. We've still got 2 years to go. Because of the relationship we've got with a lot of the suppliers, we can actually commit and guarantee a rate now for them in 2 years' time, because we're forward purchasing power ourselves. So now there's a lovely little twist that we can go to a customer and say, fine, I understand that. We won't even look at stopping your contract now. We don't want you to cancel the contract. What we want from you is the commitment that you'll come with us in a couple of years. And this is the rate we will guarantee. And they say, fine, okay, that's nice. But then we also say, but tell you what, as a little added benefit, not only will we confirm this rate for you in 2 years' time, but we will go and install now energy management system into your site 2 years before we take your contract over, so you can manage all your consumption now and reduce it. That's a bit nice. We've got a competitor out there and we've just reduced all his commissions because we just take 20% off his turnover. But how's that customer going to feel then? Christ, you're giving me this now and I'm not even a customer for 2 years? So this is the way that we want to drive business forward. And as Troy said, yes, at the moment, we've got about 12,000 customers. We've got another 200 customers a month coming on. So we're in a slightly different situation that we're not actually using the product, or we're not having to go out and find the customers to sell the product to. We've got the customers there. We're just deciding how many we give it to. And on the trial period, as we're running it through now, we're doing about sort of 20 customers a month. We'll probably be up to 50 customers a month by the new year, but then we intend to really ramp it up. We haven't even launched it out to our salespeople yet, but they know it's happening, so they're already coming to us with new clients saying, we've got this client coming on board, can we actually use your product to bring the order in? So yeah, we're really enthusiastic about the product and the market and the way that we want to go forward with it. So really, in summary, well, first of all, and I'm going to say this from a personal point of view, I personally couldn't think of working with a better company than we have with Best. And I think everybody has made the right decision to be with them. I mean, I did know them, as I say, quite some time ago, and as Troy knows and Ben knows, I was adamant that I wanted to get this product into NGP because I knew it was the right one, and it's a great team to work with. So we've now got close working relationships now and in the future. We believe that we've got a unique product in the way that we're going forward with all the other facilities. And with Best, we've got somebody that we've got continuous development with. And, you know, I really have to say a big, big thank you, and that's to Troy, Ben, Tim, Simon, Calvin, Andy, Mike Foster, and then the rest of the development team. All these people have been a big help to us over the past months, getting us to the stage we are now. And I really do think we've got a very bright and profitable future together. Thank you very much.